All right, this is Jeff Zimmerman here. I'm with Keith, one-time Thurman, two-time world champ, and what I believe the most interesting guy in boxing. How you doing, champ?
I'm doing good, Jeff. Thank you so much.
Man, and when I say the most interesting, I mean, I really do mean that. I mean, your career has been awesome. You've had some ups and downs, and you're just a thinker. You're just a different type of guy out there. You're a great broadcaster, a great fighter. But I got to ask you about something before we get started into the boxing. Can you
Okay.
share the concept of karma and the silent meditation trip you took?
I mean, there's a lot in life, right? And let's just be honest human beings, as everybody has a certain level of laziness, and we all have a certain level of neglect that we just put things on the back burner. And just one thing that's made me the way that I am, I look at my astrology charts, it's in the stars. The character that Keith Thurman is, it's written already. You know what I mean? I'm an introspective person. I've loved meditation before you even heard who I was. I was meditating at 19 years old. I decided to study world religions on my own. People who know my story, a lot of people might not know my story. I dropped out of high school at 16, to pursue boxing, to be an Olympian, which I was one step short from when I lost in the Olympic trials to Demetrius Andrade for the '08 China Games, right? So, and back in those days, as I turned pro, I was 19 when I turned pro. I was happy. I was living my dream. That's why when you see me box, I wear red, white, and blue. It's not just that I'm proud to be an American and it's patriotic. 4th of July. We love America. We love being here. It's an amazing country. But why does Keith Thurman wear red, white, and blue? Because being in that ring is my all-American dream. You know, and so I just always was meditating. I had injuries back in the day, and that gave me time to reflect. And I was very happy. Well, I wasn't really happy, but I was grateful that I had this wisdom coming into my life. I was raised as a Southern Baptist Christian, and my mother has bestowed the love of God in my heart. But, God has given man so many gifts, and the intellect is one. And to have an intellect that doesn't question is very profound, right? Especially in modern days, with products. Is this the best product? Is this the best product? The mind is always questioning things. So that's the roots, is that I got into Buddhism, which got me into meditation. I learned about the Bhagavad Gita. I'll give you three of my favorite books, right? I was raised on the Bible. Then what really made me go deep into Buddhism was a very complex book called the Tibetan Book of the Dead, right? And then one of my favorite Hindu scriptures is known as the Bhagavad Gita. A lot of scholars have talked about these books for many years. Not that Keith Thurman is a scholar. I told you I'm a high school dropout. But when I was 19, and I said, what would you have gone to school for? I would have, psychology, that Sig Freud stuff. It was something, but it didn't seem like it's what really was going to resonate with me. More religion, little bit of philosophy, but more world religions. And I said, if you went to school, what are they going to do? Well, it's simple. You sit down at a desk and they hand you a book. This is Sri Sri's new book, Notes for the Journey Within. My PR lady Hannah already got her copy. I'm in love in this read. It's a simple read. You don't have to read it front to cover. You can just take a page a day. So sometimes I like things that are playful like that. But these books and learning what meditation was, sitting, breathing, it just helped me in life. At the age of 20, so I got into that at 19. At the age of 20, my trainer, Ben Getty, the one that people always see me wear his name on my trunks. Ben Getty passed away when I was 20 years old. And it was really hard for me to talk about. Sometimes it can still be hard to talk about. A few days ago, I had a dream. He was in the gym again, and I'm like, "Where you been? Where you been? I mean, could have been put in work. Where you been, coach? You know?" And it just, you know how dreams sometimes they can feel a little too real in that like Inception, something crazy like that, you know. But the practice of meditation, you know, sitting down, let go of the world. You know, there's many books, Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. You know, you got to forgive people. You got to let go of this. You got to let go of the past. You know, how many times do you have to hear this philosophy? How many times do you have to hear this wisdom until you start to actually try to implement it into your daily life and into your daily practice? So what I learned about meditation is that it really is the key component of letting go and letting things be as they are, right? We want to control so much, oh, this and that, and but sometimes things are outside of your control. Then what are you going to do? You got to let go, you got to let be. When you ponder on the past, you can't change the past. What are you going to do? You got to let go, you got to let be. And meditation, the world is here, the obstacles, the struggles, whether my fight has been announced or not, that all that is here, and it's not going to go nowhere. But I can take 20 minutes out of my day and create a gap, create a space where just for 20 minutes I'm not thinking about my next fight. I'm not thinking about my next paycheck. I'm not thinking if I'm late on any bills or what my credit score is or should be or yada, yada, yada. You know, there's for just 20 minutes a day, you just got to take yourself away from the world and all of the stress that comes in the world. So I was very fortunate last year to meet Sri Ravi Shankar. People can watch my interview. Thurman talks with Guru Dev. He goes by Guru Dev online. And I was just very fortunate to meet this man, have a one-on-one, heart-on-heart, ask him any questions that I wanted, which was actually a lot harder than you would think in the moment. This man has an energy, aura, whatever. There's a lot of stuff that we read in books. There's a lot of stuff about saints, enlightened beings, but there's something that I've always loved in my heart that comes from the ancient scriptures of the Bible, which is seek and ye shall find. The second one is there is nothing new under the sun. People who truly are here to do good works, to help man see their true potential. It has sorry, that was an incoming call.
Oh, no worries, no worries.
These things have always existed throughout antiquity. Before religion existed, man was created. Man was created, and then man, to help other men, created religions, ritualistic processes, practices, ways to discipline yourself, and sometimes these things really resonate with me. I think I'm really happy to have a guru because I'm a boxer. I understand master, teacher, disciple. I've had great trainers throughout my career that has helped Keith Thurman be the world-class fighter that I am today. And now I have a spiritual leader like Sri Ravi Shankar that has given me fundamental practices for my everyday life. The breath work, the meditation, and then once every 6 months, the 3 days of silence and participating in the silence retreats. So I've never found anything this profound, this simple. It's very simple, but the overall outcome, it's life changing, and I'm very grateful to be a part of the Art of Living family. And I'm looking forward to it in my life, in my journey, integrating it into my boxing lifestyle. Sometimes after the gym, even in my boxing gym, I have a meditation cushion. I pop out and I'll do my breath work and I'll do my meditation before I go home. Or sometimes I do it before the gym. I just get it in when I can. If I don't do it every day, I don't beat myself up about it. You're a bad devotee. You're a bad, you're not disciplined enough. Um, everybody has their own journey. He's not that strict. He's not hitting you with a whip. He's just politely encouraging you that these practices can benefit you. You're the one who benefits from it, right? When you go on a diet, who benefits? The grocery store, maybe a little, you start buying organic produce,
Right.
at the end of the day, who's the real benefactor? You're the benefactor of the diet. You're the benefactor of going to the gym. You pay your personal trainer. Yeah, they benefit. You're the true benefactor.
Right. Right.
And those little things like that is what I've learned thus far with my 1 year come around on this journey and the retreat. And there's a lot that you can do online. There's a lot that Sri does with the Art of Living over Zoom nowadays. But when you go to the ashram, when you go dive in to the Art of Living in Boone, North Carolina, this is the second year that I've attended, and I just feel great. I come back and I'm happy. I'm just happy to be back in the gym. I'm happy within myself, and it just makes moving through life a lot easier. I mess with the guys at the gym. I'm just a little bit more playful. I get a little bit more creative. I've been writing poetry, and it's been a beautiful journey. But we're still waiting on that phone call. We still want to punch people in the face. Okay, don't worry about it. Okay, all right. I can get Zen. All right, and then ba 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 boom, baby. Okay, I even said it at the ashram this year. I said I felt so good. It was the last day. I said I feel so good today. I just want to punch somebody in the face, And somebody walking by looked at me like, "What that guy just say?" Like,
Well,
that's the life
yeah.
I live. That's the life I live. I'm still a warrior at heart. I love the battlefield. There's nothing that gets my heart pumping more than being in the fire. Thurman wants to be in the fire. Put me in the fire.
You made
So
your money, Keith. You made your money. You're a two-time champion. You're likely a first ballot Hall of Famer, and you're smart as hell. Why keep fighting though? I mean, you say you're a gladiator, you want to be in the fire, but why?
why not? Why not?
Yeah.
Look, man, there's nothing in this life of mine that I've experienced that's like being in the ring. I got a beautiful wife. I got beautiful children. You know, they're blessings. They're blessings upon blessings. But this blood, it'll go stale. It'll go stale. It's okay. I can go to a silence retreat. I can do yoga. I can sit around. That only lasts 4 or 5 days, and then it's over. I can't sit up in the mountains my whole life. You know what I'm saying? My blood, it'll go stale. It's itching. It's yearning for something more. I'm an adrenaline junkie. I'm look at this. Look at this face. It's too pretty. Where's my black eye? I need a black. It's Fight Club, baby. You remember the movie Fight Club?
Of course, of course.
Everybody's walking around with black eyes. That's me. When I come home and my wife can't even say the word sparring right, she's like, were you sparring? I'm like, okay, just call it boxing. Like, don't hurt yourself,
Right.
At the end of the day, I said, when you see marks on your husband's face, just know he went to work. Okay? That's called work. And I love it. I can't stop loving it. To the day that I stop loving it, that's the day that I'll stop doing it.
Let me ask you this, Keith. Any breaking news for us? I know August is, August timeframe for the comeback. Ugas has been the name floated around, but until those contracts are signed, you're the first to say that. What's the latest there?
There's some things that seem like, Ugas was one of the things on the table. Of course, I've already agreed to a plethora of fights. Thurman's a yes man. Yes, I'll fight him. Yes, I'll fight him. Yes, I'll fight him. We just got to create the win and the where. I don't know what's going on other people's sides. I know the direct conversations that I've had with Al. And then it's just a network thing. It's about getting on the calendar. I was a bench boy this year. It was a horrible position to be in. Thurman could have been fought in February. They were trying to mandate Spence. He wiggled his way out of that. He made a big fight happen. I cannot be mad about that. I understand boxing. I know how it is. The fans have been waiting for this fight. Nobody's mad over this decision. Just the way that it's infected me this year has been unpleasant. But, at the end of the day, I'm still sitting here patiently waiting, looking forward to the opportunities that come my way. And then the most important thing is once we get back in the ring, we got to get back in the ring again. We got to get this ball rolling. I am growing, 34 years old. But at the end of the day, I know I got several more good years that I can squeeze out of the game. I want to make it happen, for myself and for the fans. So, let's see what manifests. Hopefully by next week, it's big fight week, and I'm hoping to drop some real news, if not a date, at least solidifying the opponent, so that the world of boxing doesn't have to question any longer about what's next for Keith Thurman.
Great. We'll look forward to that. We'll be in Vegas. So I got to bring up Spence because, full disclosure, one time I'm based in Dallas. I've covered Spence's career, since he turned pro, and used to see him regularly. And I was asking him about you when you were the champ. He was up and coming. The time period, and he said to me, "quote He thinks he's the big bad wolf and nobody wants to fight him, but I'll fight him." Why didn't that fight ever happen with Spence back then?
Back then, the fight could have happened. Look, for the one thing is, I've never heard his name as a potential opponent. Period. Not once in my career till late last year. Right. So that's one thing they try to talk about. Oh, this guy said this guy said that. That's cool. Where's the real talk? Where's the real negotiations? Never once in my career got put up on the table. So what was happening was the same reason why he's not fighting me today. When there's another fight for you out there and you're chasing after world titles, and the guy who wants to fight you doesn't have a world title, it's not that enticing.
Right.
2, I've lived this life. I said we were almost the Olympian back in 2008. Spence was our Olympian in 2012. When the best fight the best, it should be of a certain caliber. Okay? Like the fight that we're going to see next weekend, this fight is truly of a certain caliber. If Thurman would have fought Spence the day that he said my name because he could put some syllables together, he would have got paid 1 point something, if that. He wasn't worth a lot. Yeah. And then, I would have got paid, respectfully, something. But real boxers know that real champions, when they fight at the right moment, the world needs to recognize what kind of fight it is. If Thurman would have fought Spence, we could have got the fight over with, but the world would not have acknowledged the greatness of the battle at the time. and there was I got to unify the world title against Danny Garcia. You know, there were bigger fights on the table. There were bigger fights on the horizon. Then, unfortunate for me, after Danny, there was elbow surgery.
Mm-hmm.
After Pacquiao, there was hand surgery. You know, this is my story. This is my journey. These are my struggles, you know. And in 2019, Thurman does not lose to Pacquiao. I would have fought Spence last year. How do I know? How does Thurman know? Because he fought Ugas. Did anybody really care about that fight? Where did that fight happen?
Vegas?
No.
No, I'm sorry, Cowboy Stadium.
Okay. In Dallas, right?
Right.
Okay, you were there.
Yeah.
It's Dallas, right? Big arena, big setting, huge network television. Put Thurman and Spence on that platform and tell me it's not bigger, better, and greater.
I don't disagree with you, and I guess
So for unfortunately, there was never that setting back then. And then when the setting appeared, Ugas was the champion. Yeah. Thurman didn't have his title no more. This is how boxing moves like this sometimes. It's not a straight climb. Boxing can move like this. It's very unfortunate. I still would love to fight the winner of Spence Crawford, the loser of Spence Crawford. The truth is, Crawford's never seen Thurman. Spence never seen Thurman. Spence has never seen Crawford. Crawford's never seen Spence. And it's things like this that makes boxing great. So this matchup next Saturday is great. It is pay-per-view. It deserves all the publicity that it's getting. I hope that they sell out, and and everything happens, the way that it should happen in the sport of boxing. When rematch policies. Is this fight going to be dominated by one side? Is the rematch going to happen? When the rematch happens, does the loser then win? Does a trilogy manifest?
Right.
When it comes to boxing talk, I mean, it's like barbershop, baby. We can be talking all night.
Right.
That's why we have to take it one fight at a time, one camp. The rematch. These boys still want to be at 47. Will they be at 54? I love these names. You applaud me. You applaud me for my career and my accolades. And one of the reasons why I've done what I've done is because I love putting big names in the ring. So I still would love these big names whenever they come to the table at any division. If these boys want to see me at 47, if they're done after each other, they move up to 54. If Thurman has to go to 54 to make these big names and these big fights happen, then so be it. I'll do it. So one thing at a time. Let's just get back in the ring. Let's get a respectable fight on this year's calendar, and then let's go from there.
All right, I'm here with Keith, one-time Thurman, ready to make a big announcement at the Crawford-Spence fight, hopefully his next opponent to get back in the ring. Let's talk Spence Crawford real quick, Keith. Put your boxing analyst hat on. Like I said at the top, you're a great commentator all around. You're the Dos Equis guy in boxing. Break down this fight for me, for the fans. Who wins and why?
I mean, we've been, you don't have to even be a meditator. If you're a fight fan, you've already been meditating on this. You've already been in debates. You've already been checking your homies. Look, it's hard to get into a discussion and not like Terence Crawford. That's my opening statement, and I'm going to explain it. When we want to compare people, we want to see what they bring to the table. And Crawford is just one of those special individuals one of those special kind of fighters, you know, where he dominated the 140 division. He's been holding his own at 147, though it took him a while to get some great names under his belt. You know, he did fight Sean on the back end of Sean Porter's career, but Thurman fought Sean, didn't stop him. Spence fought Sean, didn't stop him. Terence Crawford stopped Sean Porter. Boop, boop. Makes you get some cool points on this side. Boop, boop, boop. You get 5-star rating. Boop, boop, boop. You know, what else? He's a light guy. He brings speed. He brings agility. You know, something that I believe Spence has never seen. I always said Spence has not seen an athletic boxer like Crawford or Thurman, period. It's not, can he beat these guys? He's never seen them. So, once again, the boy's athletic. He's a switch hitter. Lefty, righty, lefty, righty. He can do what he wants when he wants. I grew up with Crawford. We were at the same national tournaments. I know him and Spence, both elite amateur pedigree, you know? But when you're stacking the chips, Spence has that elite amateur pedigree. Solid fundamental boxer, very fundamentally sound. And sometimes that's all it takes to win. Sometimes it ain't gonna be so flashy. Sometimes, you know, and that's the debate here. Can a solid fighter like Spence, who when you talk about him, there's not a lot to be said. He was an Olympian. He's dominated the welterweight division. He has great defense, a fantastic jab, and can work the body well. But when you stack these attributes, they only reach so high. As you continue to talk about Crawford, it seems like he has more. But like I said, you know, the smartest in the world have some of the simplest solutions to a complex problem. Is Errol Spence that? Is he going to make E equals MC squared? Is he going to give us a solid performance of fundamental boxing, a simple formula to outclass and outperform a dynamic, complex fighter like Terence Bud Crawford? Truth is, I don't know. Truth is, that's why it's a show. That's why it's a fight. That's why I'm going to be there. That's why you should go. And if you don't go, then you better know to buy the pay-per-view, son. Come on.
You're a promoter, you're a fighter, you're everything.
This is boxing. I love boxing. Say what you want about Keith Thurman. Sometime, one time, once upon a time, all the time. This is it, man. This is boxing. This is what we do. It ain't nothing new. It's just another black eye. I've told you these things before, you know. This is what gets the blood going. See? You want me to sit back and relax? How can I do that? These boys are out there fighting without me. How can I do that? I'm ready to go. Don't make me show my six-pack. I've been in the gym. Come on now. I love this sport. I love this game. You know, we've been through many hurdles, but you know, I made it to the top. I'm in the history books. I made it to fame, but at the end of the day, man, I just love boxing. And for everybody that loves boxing, I already know that they're going to be tuning in. And if you don't got plans next Saturday night and you don't really got nothing to do, then you should watch History in the Making. undisputed, undefeated welterweight champion of the world is coming very soon.
And we'll wrap it up here in a minute. Let me ask you, you brought up Manny Pacquiao. That you fought a living legend, went toe-to-toe with him for 12 rounds, almost pulled it out at the end. You didn't get the Mayweather fight, which was a big fight for a lot of fighters. You were calling him out quite a bit. Talk about, real quick, being able to fight Manny, and then the frustration of not getting Floyd.
Yeah, you know, I mean, Floyd was he's easy to talk about. Floyd was, you know, Floyd had his agenda, right? You got some conspiracy theories out there. They got an agenda. They're working on their agenda. You know, Floyd was one of them guys. You know, he knew what he was doing at the end of his days. And we all knew what he was doing. When he went from Pretty Boy Floyd to Money Mayweather, it's not all about, we know what it's about now. It's about the money. I tell people, you listen to the ring name and you'll get into the psychology of the fighter. You know, you got Pretty Boy Floyd. He was all pretty and swift. Boom, boom, boom. Then he became Money Mayweather. You look at the end of his career, you see Warren Buffett in the MGM Grand. Come on, man. This man was making money. He was putting on a show and he was collecting the dough, you know. And before it was all over, he got to do the Conor McGregor. He came out with the ski mask because he said it was a straight robbery. So I knew the cat was out of the bag the day I became champion of the world. When I became the WBA regular was the same day that Floyd Mayweather became elevated to the super champ. What's a super champ? Do they got a cape? Where's the cape, Floyd? What's a super champ? Keith Thurman was the #1 contender. I was the interim champion through the WBA. I was the #1 contender. Floyd Mayweather was the champion. That makes me his mandatory. What never happened? I never got mandated, period. You know, so once I went through that political scheme, I already knew Floyd was dust in the wind, you know. So that was, you know, that was very unfortunate for me as a young fighter, working hard, climbing the ladder and wanting the best fighters in the world, wanting to be in the ring with legends. Then one day, we get the phone call from Manny Pacquiao. And this was 2019, which I've stated in the past, the hand was already messed up. The doctor, my doctor was at my fight in New York for Jose Cito Lopez. He said, hey, Keith, great fight. You know, you had a scare. Everybody was worried in the 7th round there. You know, you got your head snapped back a few times. Everybody was worried, but yeah, man, you pulled it out. Great fight. Great fight. So we're gonna do that surgery, right? We're gonna do that surgery, right? And I said, hey man, look, doc, I think they're gonna give me Pacquiao, and I ain't letting you touch this, you know. So it was a rough year. It was a rough year. Outside of that, my weight management was not on point. There's a lot of different variables, and that's life, you know. That's life. We still put on a tremendous fight. Everything was still a dream come true, except for that final hour where my hand did not get raised. You know, in that moment, MGM Grand, Manny Pacquiao, the Philippines, everybody's in the arena. The energy, the magnetism, the electric sensation, that was boxing. That was a gladiator's night of true champions. And for me, if Caesar was there and he said, to the death, I would have looked at my family, salute, your boy gotta go. I gotta go toe to toe. I wanted 15 rounds. I wanted 37. I wanted to keep fighting and die in that ring and go to heaven. Okay. It was everything, man. It was everything. Everything that I ever wanted, man. I'll never forget that night. You know, I look forward. I hope it's not the only one. I want to be in the ring I want to have the fans on their feet. I want to get that energy elevated once again. Like I said, man, it's in the blood. I'm addicted to the game. I'm addicted to the pain. I'm addicted to the roars, the screaming, and the fame. So you know, it's more. It's more than just making a name, man. It's dreams. This is dreams come true. I mean, and real fighters understand that, and real fight fans too. So, that's my summary of the Manny Pacquiao fight. Everything was everything just until that final moment of the night, man. I love it. I reflect on it, and I'll never forget it.
Let's end with this, and I'm here with Keith, one-time Thurman, man. This has been so great to talk to you, and I can't wait to see you in Vegas here in a week or so. You like we talked about, you have so much to offer in the ring, outside the ring. You're still a fan favorite. There's fights that, of course, Spence, everyone would want to see your personality and everything. But when you're all said and done, Keith, and you finally decide to hang up the gloves, what do you want your legacy to be?
I mean, the greatest compliment any fighter can get, and I've already gotten this from time to time, is you are my favorite fighter. It's the greatest compliment I can be given. Another one that I really love is when we first kicked off PBC Premier Boxing Champions. It said, man, I watched you on TV. Some of the older heads, right? They said, I watched you on TV, and that reminded me of Leonard. That reminded me of Hearns. It just reminded me of the golden era, the four kings. So to just know, and I still believe it. I still believe that we have tremendous talent in the welterweight division, and if we can just get these fights together, if we can get these the networks together, get these contracts written, Spence, Crawford, Thurman, I know the Ennis is out there, and Virgil Ortiz is struggling at 147, but undefeated young guys, soon to be champions. Everybody's fighting to make a name, to get to that high level, to get the fame. But right now, we got 4 world titles being in contention against 2 men. That makes the welterweight division move in a certain way, but that's not going to last forever. And there's so many great fights. Luckily, I have a name, regardless of if there's a belt, no belt. There's a lot of people that love to support me. I'm grateful for all the support that I've gotten throughout all of my career. I know I lost some of the fans back there. They didn't like the inactivity, but I know deep down you still love me. I know you're just mad at me, but I know that you still love me. All I got to do is get up in there and get back to work. And sure enough, you'll remember why you were in my corner once upon a time, man. For the lovers and the haters and everybody in the game, I'm grateful, man. I love the sport of boxing.
All right, man. I don't know what else to say after that, man. I always kind of do that debate. I grew up with the 4 kings. Leonard is my guy. I interviewed him a few months ago, met him several times, and always thinking how you guys would compete in that era. I think it would be fascinating. Obviously, those guys are legends. You guys are on your way to becoming legendary as well. So I appreciate this. I hope to do it again in Vegas. I know you're going to be hounded. So thank you to Hannah for putting this together for us one time. And I don't know if you're ever welcome in Dallas. This is Spence territory, but if you want to sneak through, I'm here, man. But we'll see you in Vegas. And I know the fight world is excited to see who you're going to fight next, whether it's Ugas or maybe an Ennis, maybe an Ortiz. He's another guy out of Dallas, Fort Worth. So best of luck going forward. Love everything you've talked about at the top. I think a lot of people are going to learn more about you, and we'll talk soon, man.
Awesome, Jeff. Thank you for all the love and support. You take
Appreciate
care,
it.
my
All right, champ.